Welcome back, fellow gamers, to my playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with BlackICE, the Third Reich Events mods, along with a few others installed. We are just closing out 1939 and about ready to start 1940. As soon as spring hits and the weather gets good enough, we're going to start the war on Poland. Continental military power effect has come into play. Two submarines. And two more just arrived. That's just fine. And here. There we go. And I'm going to continue going with economic spying. Some of these others I do see a use. Increased naval organization, increased land organization, 2%. Could be good, but if you give me really good reasons why they would feel something else is better, I would gladly hear it. But for now, I'm going to go with that. Annual national focus. We're going to go for Daivamak. We're still looking at the increased manpower by 20% and the land build speeds. Not as good for armor there, but so that's what we're going to go for Daivamak. And economic boost. We're going to go with short term now because we don't have any plans this year to institute another major project. So it'll boost up that. Fleet exposition. Okay. Leader speaks, big party rally, fun. This is fleet exposition. Basically sort of like, the air show, but for the fleet. Lots of money, lots of supplies gone. It will be useful in the end. And Brandenburg Commando Unit. Yay. Like I think I said earlier, one of the very few reasonably identifiable pictures of the Brandenburg Commandos. And this is BlackICE version of von Hippel. Very, very interesting guy. He will later show up again in a TRE event. They entirely, in my opinion, underrate him. As being the organizer of the Commandos, he was very good at doing that. He should have, at minimum, jungle warfare experience because he was with the Tanzanian or Tanganyikan ex-colonial garrison force that under Letter von Bobeck, I'm probably butchering that name as well, who was famous for not surrendering to the Allies. And basically finished out the war still, World War I still in the field. Is basically undefeated there. Lift one, yeah. So, just an interesting character. I'll talk more about him later when he appears. there under the Tanganyika events. Because he had a very interesting World War II career as well. Okay. Alright. Okay. Another Fear Light event. Yeah, okay, we'll do him. How many days until February 1? 30 days? Okay, I'll go for it. I don't want to lose all that. I don't want to lose all that organization now that I'm about ready to start the war. There's the HQ that comes with the event. Put a general in charge of it there. Not an overly good one. Like him, and we'll attach it to Hitler, since it's his bodyguard. There we go. And a bunch of radars and anti-aircraft guns. Yes, please. It's going to be there for a while for the minus 5% ICs, but yes, please, we'll take all that. And we lose a bunch of manpower to man it. That only is reasonable, but it will drastically increase. Okay. No, we don't want to start up convoys at this time, because we're going to be going to war pretty soon here. Okay, let's see, we're going to build a few of the divisions. A few more national decisions here to do. National recruiting policy, again, we're going with a balanced approach for this campaign. And the 9th Panzer Division. Okay, that's what we want to do. And I was told about trying to use this. Go down to the bottom to find... Or is it at the top? Maybe it's at the top. No. Sorry, we're floating all off. Land units. Good little tool. I will try to remember to use that more often here. Up there. Because of all the trading we've been doing, we have a large supply production needs. That's to fuel money to buy the resources, to fuel all the industry. A vicious circle. I do believe it's worth it, but it is costly. End up getting more ultimately than it's costing us. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's pause this. Attach him there. Okay. It just here, the end of the 4-year plan has happened to us. It's been slightly less than 4 years, but it was started in 36. So, end of the 4-year plan. We lose the 4-year plan effects, so it should eat into our... we had been producing all this, and it wasn't just because I bumped this up 4 or 5 ICs here, it's because we've lost the effects. That now. What we need to do, though, is change our leader, because he gets a little more resources out of it and helps the Air Force, but otherwise he hurts money, and because he's a greedy bastard, and because he's focusing on air, he hurts land organization. Who we need to move to now is Tote. Where's Tote here? Fritz Tote. Very loyal to the Nazi Party. Tote was. He was a reasonably decent engineer and reasonably decent at organizing things, but he got his job primarily organizing up the Autobahns because of his loyalty to Hitler and the party. He was an SA leader, as well as being in the Air Force. But so his organization becomes very powerful, first with the highway system, then building the West Wall, and he's made armaments minister after the start of the war. So more ICs, crude oil, resources, construction, practicals, delays is done. Now, since we're also, well, once the war hits, we're going to readjust some of that as well. But so that should help this out a little bit, but not a whole lot. Sure. No. What does it really want? No. Going. Now, since we just hit 1940, we can start doing these without rushing too much. We're going to go with steel production because I want to get some of that other technology there going. This will help a lot. Mechanical and computing machine is completed. And we will convert that over to here because that'll take a long time. Road Network Advanced, that's useful as well. Moving it over to coal to oil. We need to stop that because that's right. It was one of the defense research advances that got that, so you don't get notified when it jumps there, unfortunately. Research that. And we should be doing that as well. Okay. There we go. And an escort. Escort there. So we've moved up. Ah, yes. So we've moved up from 1.4 to 1.6 in reorganization regain level. Okay, you Nazi spy. Notice they spelled a little bit different. Debuts in America. Three Stooges, I'm sure all of you should know who they are. If not, I'm sorry, you don't. But this was the first comedy anti-Nazi movie to be made, at least in America, and I think anywhere. And they really poke fun at the Nazis, but they sort of cloak it a little bit, you know, you Nazi, without quite spelling it right, and all that kind of stuff. And this even gets mentioned in Congress and things like that about this movie. So this hurts the German relationship with the U.S. Okay, so there, fire control. Oh yes, okay. The 1940 International Winter Sports Boat. It was basically, and I think because we aren't going to go to war, this was the replacement. Maybe I should make this a wartime only event, but this was sort of the replacement for the lack of the Winter Olympics that Germany was going to get again this year, 1940. Because we're still at peace, we should get that event as well. Notice, you know, Germany, Romania. Oh God, that's Yugoslavia, I believe. I'm also the Netherlands here. Italy, Hungary, and Bulgaria all showed up for the thing. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me. I'm like messing up the flags, saying which one's which. Sorry about that. So, oh, Slovakia, that's what it is. It's Slovakia, not the Netherlands. Boy, I got that messed up. Yeah, Slovakia there, so that proves our relationship with all those winter training helps out. So basically those people who were still friendly with the Germans at the time. Okay, Slovak factories. January 30th, 1940, Germany, the Slovak state. Signed an agreement on war economy. Basically, I use this event because it's hard to model some of these, how much, basically, because they were a puppet state, how much the factories and whatever in Slovakia will help the war economy. But they will produce simple things, whether it's like boots or helmets or bullets or whatever. So I just mostly do this as a boost to the research with a little bit of cost. Okay, I do have a probably down here somewhere. 900 something squadron. Never went to that. Got a very high popularity. That's nice. I wish we could keep it always. I would do it. Set what priorities to take that if I could. Okay, so we're gonna go. Yeah, interception tactics. Okay, he's the 227th is still out there. We'll get a Leapstandard attachment. Probably gonna do. Use this again. Because he had been in East Prussia. So who do we want to give this to? He's just too good of a general. I'm going to give him a corps or something here pretty soon. Okay. Now that we've gone through the BlackICE ground maneuvers, air show, and the naval maneuvers, we get this event. Should have an effect pop up real soon here. Now boil refiner. Okay, see, we just had this. We are now a famous military power because of that last event put in effect. So +2 to organization regain rate. Airborne unit training advance. I just think I need to spread this out a little bit more. See what I may be falling behind with on. Yeah, see, we need to upgrade your artillery. I've got to reorganize the event, to have that other because they're both happening at the same location at approximately the same time. The other event for peacetime, and that's the real poster for the 1940 Olympics that never happened, and have only one of the other events happen. This is appropriate for peacetime. We get a lot of positive relations with the countries that showed up here, lose a little dissent and gain a little unity. Although the world's on the brink, I really think this would have come off and there would have been the Summer Olympics a bit later up in Helsinki. So yeah, I've got to rework that. I don't know if I'll get that done for the next version or not, but not that big of a deal. Okay, yes, we want to continue this. So this will give us some more crude oil. And continue with the rare materials boosts. Really, those events, they replace the others. They really should stack and not maybe be as big a leap each one, because I've looked into them, and each year with the new commercial agreements that they had, including the 39, the 40, and the 41 before Germany invaded, was more buying off Germany more and more resources. So they should be set up to stack more than replace. And then, of course, once the war starts, the effects should disappear because the war started and you're being invaded. Another very big gun. Let's see how our production's doing. Kind of ahead of the Tirpitz. Okay, AFV track suspension have advanced. So, and maxed out now. Okay, mission to Romania. Another event from George sent in. We spend some money, some supplies, use a little manpower, but it will increase our ability to, I interpreted this as convert coal to oil. Sort of the best way, I guess, to interpret it. But really it's was to improve oil production and the delivery system. And it also, of course, helps our relations with. Oh, we got some more blueprints. We stole from the direct fire unit, gives level 4. Let's go take a quick look. So we've just jumped up to level 4 there. That's very useful. A little scary that that's what the Americans are at right now. And we also stole some from Japan, cruiser engine to level 5. Don't know how much that's going to help us, but it's nice to have. A large transport plane squadron. The 8th Panzer Division. This is another one of the divisions, like the 7th, formed from newly produced Czech tanks. So we'll lose the 3rd Lish Division. Just see. As you can maybe tell by my concentration of armor and equipment, this is going to be right here my main axis of advance into Poland for Warsaw. We're going to advance on all fronts because these units are beatable by just about any basic German divisions, but we're going to thrust into there to end it quickly. We don't want to drag it out too long. I'm not going to play the game of, oh, let the Polish slowly die while we increase our experience. Radar for capital ships. We of course don't have many capital ships, and this will even help our pocket battles ships and our coastal battleships, the outdated ones. You can, slap on radar onto a pre-World War I or pre-World War I vessel. I mean, it's not that hard to do. We should also do the float planes there too, but get this. But since we have so few, we've got to have them the best that we can have them. So I'm willing to spend the research on them. Okay, supply production advance. We'll just do coal processing, even though we really don't need it for that. I think it may affect some of these other things here. No. Make sure, because we have to reinforce for those divisions that just came up. They're just, okay, now we got electronic computing done. That's good. I don't think the Germans really ever got to electronic computing in World War II. I think it was just the Zeus and the mechanical computing. We'll increase our tank guns because that'll help us get to that. Because that's what we want to get to. Combined arms, yeah. Okay. And we will also pause. Advanced education. That's good. Well, get those done quickly. Okay. Yeah. But right now, let me pause this. Oh, no, already was paused. We'll do that with that. If you look here, deep snow. More deep snow. If we tried to invade now, because of the BlackICE snow situation, we just get bogged down. So we've got to wait. Unless we were going to do something different, like invade France first or some such thing, but we're not doing that. Okay, tank destroyer level 3, so we just achieved this. That was a quick one. guess all the various educational investments are coming through. Sorry to be taking so long with this. I'm just wanting to check out my options, as it were. We'll go with cluster bombs. And another medium velocity gun. We'll move over to short-barreled HE gun. Yeah, we're switching it off over to here. Bohemia and Murin, or Moravia as I would sort of know it, parts of Czechoslovakia. Magazine, it's put out under SS Gruppenführer Karl Hermann Frank. Sort of a Germanic cultural magazine. There was the view of Czechs was sort of interesting within the Third Reich. There was very serious attempts, and a few other events will be showing this, to Germanize the people that were there. So I don't quite know how, within their wacky racial theories, how the Czechs fit in, whether they were some sort of Aryan types or lesser Aryan types or something that just happened to be different culturally or something, or whether, I don't know. So I don't know, they were trying to Germanify them and push them into the German mold, which is different than what they were later dealt with the Poles and other peoples that basically they wanted either gone and moved east or something like that. So there was definitely a move to Germanify it, and this publication was one of them. Another cannon, not as big. Mass Events has advanced. Supply organization will go up there. Okay, now there's a group of Schnellen boats. This will allow us to move forward here, and you notice certain text affect different types of aircraft differently, so this will help our night capabilities with our interceptors, the twin engine interceptors. Now we're back down to high popularity. Okay, monumental architecture has advanced. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Also, naval strike tactics have advanced. Set up there to fight a ground cruise. Okay, so let's find headquarters for these. Okay, so give them all the units. We're going to send him. This. Okay. Oh, he's a good general. There we go. Another cool division. Okay, broadcasting advances. Achieve the next level. And we'll move that over to supply transportation improvements. And that has helped our leadership a little bit as well. All doing pretty good. Fairly well up to date. Okay, I think we'll call it a day for this episode. Hope you're continuing to enjoy the series. Please, any feedback, things you want to see, I think I'm also going to, before the next episode, or before the next episode that moves the clock forward, reorganize all these units into better HQ situations and how it's more or less going to be for the war with Poland. So I'll probably do a special on that. Thank you very much for watching.